Who are these people?
Yeah, I fucked up. I didn't mean to go live, but it's 5 minutes to one, so not much I can do about it now. Mhm. Hmm. All right, so I have an echo, so I need to fix this. Hold on. Okay. Give me a minute. I've accidentally gone live here. Oh, I know I have an echo. Never mind. I actually don't have an echo. It's just that I screwed up. So how's everybody this afternoon? Hope everyone's had a great week so far. I'm just, been doing my thing, tweeting a lot and running my mouth on Twitter as usual. I actually didn't mean to go live, so here I am making mistakes as usual. Oh. Hey Jeff, hey Rick, how are you? I didn't mean to go live. In fact, I meant to wait another 3 minutes, but here I am. I was like, oh shit, I accidentally went live. Because I tried to do something else. I was setting up for the stream, and then all of a sudden I was like, whoops, I didn't mean to do that, but it's all right. I mean, you're here, so yeah, I made a mistake. I was setting up for a show, then all of a sudden I was like, wait, I'm live. Why am I live? That's when I realized, oops, I pressed the button like 5 minutes too early. So you're gonna have to bear with me here 1 second. I didn't want to live fascist fail state. Well, yeah, that's true. We don't really get whatever we want here. It's very rare. Why is let's get rid of that. Yeah, I mean, get rid of all that. Let me go to my bookmarks. Wait, I don't want to start with that. It's alright. I mean, I understood what you said. Well, I'll start with this then, but yep, I'm almost ready to go. Just bear with me here 1 second. Oh, If you're not watching live, if you're watching afterwards, just skip the first few minutes because I accidentally went live early and I didn't mean to do that. So just skip ahead until the show actually starts. Alright, that's that. Yeah, that's that. That's that. Close a lot of these thumbnails. I have thumbnails that I have on here. Yep, it's 1 o'clock. So let me let everybody know I'm live on Twitter. Ow! Where's my phone? Let me do this real quick and then I'll start over here. I keep saying Twitter. I know that it's X, but I'm so used to Twitter that I'm so used to Twitter because I've been calling it Twitter for over 10 years. So yeah, I'm gonna probably continue calling it Twitter because it makes no sense. Like X is such a generic goddamn name that you can call it anything. Like X is like, what is X, by the way? I don't goddamn know. Can you guys hear me fine, by the way? Is the mic good? Because I'm using my earbud and want to make sure I'm heard correctly and everything is good. What what do they call X posts to the tweets posts? In fact, I can show you right now. Tweets are literally called posts now. So hold on, I can do that real quick. X. Let me share this though. Okay, good. Just making sure. Because I don't want. This is the first time I'm using these earbuds, so just want to make sure the mic is good. Alright, so that's. Not sure you can see this. See right there, it says post. Instead of saying tweets, it says post. Instead of retweet, I think it says repost or something. Let me see. What does it say? Let me try. But it still says retweet. Huh. That's probably a glitch because I remember on my phone it says repost or something like that. On my phone it says repost or something. Hold on. Let's see what it says. Repost in quotes. The tweet is completely gone from my iPhone app at least. So that's why I was like, holy crap. What the hell was Elon Musk thinking? I'll never know. It's been called Twitter over 10 years, like his own brand today. And it's like, no, let me change it from Twitter to X. Like, for no apparent reason at all. Let's just do that. Yeah, that's a really good idea to ruin your brand that way. But, as long as it works, I really don't give a shit what he calls it. You can call it X, you can call it triple X, you can call it whatever he wants. Good morning, good afternoon. I say good morning. It's afternoon here, but yeah, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Elon Musk has fired a bunch of people from Twitter, and and it sucks. It's not as good. I mean, it's not worse than what it was before, but at the same time, it's like,
Honestly, that's a little like
oops, let me do that. So yeah, so let me start now since it's 1:05. I don't want to, keep waiting. So earlier in the week, I came across. Whoops, let me try making it bigger because I can't really see it. All right, so earlier in the week, earlier in the week, I came across this tweet from the CIA, and it's fascinating. I mean, it's actually I laughed at it, but they they use like social justice warrior stuff like, and this says channel your curiosity, investigate mind by serving excuse me by serving as a targeting officer at the CIA. Learn more and apply today. So what's a targeting officer? I'm kind of curious of that. So excuse me, give me 1 minute. Sorry about that. Yes. Here we go. What's a targeting officer? Oops. Why? Targeting officer. Oops. Really, man? Fucking computer. So let's look what targeting officer is. Let's do this. Before I play this video, I want to know what targeting officer is. Let's do that. There you go. CIA jobs. Targeting officer. Targeting officers identify people, relationships, and organizations with access to information needed to find opportunity to disrupt threats to U.S. interests. What does that mean? U.S. interests? That's not the American people's interests. That's the American Washington interest, or permanent Washington, or deep state, or what do you want to call these people. It's their interest. It's not our interest. So let's look at whoops. Let's do that. Take a look at that. So It's a full time job with a starting salary of $67,122 to $102,166. I love the specificity of that. It's like, oh yeah, you're going to start off at $67,122 per year when you do this job, or as up to $102,166. Then let's say what else it says. Higher starting salary possible depending on experience level. Bachelor's degree. Foreign language bonus eligible. Opportunities for foreign travel are possible. So that's the job requirements for targeting officer. Oops. So that's what a targeting officer is. It's very bland. Let me try it again. Vague. It's very vague on what you're supposed to be doing. Most likely, and this is just my opinion, I can't prove any of this, but oops, but most likely it's an officer that goes to other countries and disrupts them and attempts to overthrow the government and all that stuff. So okay, yeah, that's what most likely what a targeting officer is. I mean, but the CIA, no, they try to put a spin on it, like, oh, no, man, I mean, you can travel the world and it's such a great job. And by the way, before I continue, no, I'm not suicidal. I have no interest in dying anytime soon. So just saying, because the CIA likes to suicide people. So no, I'm not no interest in suicide. And if I do die under mysterious circumstances, it's the CIA's fault, not my fault. Let's just make that clear. I'm not suicidal. Just want to make sure everybody knows that before we continue here. Excuse me. Hey there, old man Barker. So let's play this video. It's 30 seconds long, I think, and I'm also going to go to this hashtag Discover CIA. Let's see what other stuff is there. But let's play this real quick. Oh, let me know if you can hear the video fine, by the way. So before,
I love the fact that targeting requires investigating and being a detective of some sort. The best targeting officers are really curious people. With my job, there's always something more than what you see on the surface. Honestly, that's a little like me. You might not expect it, but I'm a single mom. It's made me so proud
yeah, I could give 0 fucks.
to take my son abroad and change his outlook on life. And the agency
That's bullshit. You're not taking your son to a foreign country, especially when you're trying to destabilize and overthrow. So that's bullshit. Let's keep going.
truly helped me do that.
La, same video. But yeah, that's a bunch of bullshit. There's no way that she's taking her son anywhere that's about to be destabilized by the CIA. Not happening. So let's see. Wait, did it say? What did it say? Ah, authentic stories. The journey to the CIA, as told by actors for security reasons. So she's allegedly not a CIA agent. She's an actress. So yeah. So there's no way. It says it right there. Authentic stories. The journey to the CIA, as told by actors for security reasons. So yeah, God forbid, you know, God forbid anyone. They're not going to use real CIA agents there, apparently. So that was, yep. All right, good. So let's go to this hashtag, Discover CIA. I'm curious. Let's see what this hashtag is. Let's see. What's this? Oh, no, it's an ad. Okay. Oh well, there isn't much here then. So cool. I thought there'd be more like, CIA tweets here. Hold on. Oops. Let me go back. Yeah, let's just do this. Duty, commitment, and mission. Yeah, they have a mission, ladies and gentlemen. Oops. Fucked up. NRO. At CIA, our interns are part of the nation's first line of defense. They go where other interns cannot go. They do what other interns cannot do. And they protect America's secrets. National Intern Day. Really? So you're sending interns around the world? Like, I'm supposed to believe that. As a language officer at CIA, you will use your language skills to transform, should I say translate, foreign documents into intelligent reports for decision makers. Yeah, if you learn a second language, go to the CIA. Look at that. Uh-huh. Go to the CIA. They'll give you a great career. Let's see what this has to say. Let's play this video. It's a minute long. Okay.
And
Oops.
I was born in Asia during the Cold War. I have some painful memories from my childhood and knew I didn't agree with the regime in power there. Wanting true freedom was part of what led me to become a naturalized US citizen. Wanting to protect my chosen country is what led me to CIA. As a CIA language officer, my job is to transform documents in other languages into intelligence reports that can be shared with decision makers. This job takes more than language skills and goes beyond just the paycheck. I love being able to serve my chosen country, and the agency has helped me do so much in my years of service. I've transitioned from a stay-at-home mom.
Again, another mom. It's like, really, you're hiring mothers to be CIA agents? I don't really believe that.
To an agency officer, and now I'm a senior manager. I'm someone who's made a difference for national security.
Start your story. CIA.career. CIA.gov/careers. So you want a job at the CIA? There you go, right there. There's your agent. There's your link. Wait, if he's an agent, who's playing an actor playing an agent? That's it. Yeah, they claim that these are actors, not really real CIA agents. I don't know how true that is. It's just everything with the CIA is a lie for the most part. So yeah, like I don't buy any of their bullshit. Excuse me. The president's announcement today recognizes the essential contributions to national security. The president's announcement today recognizes the essential contributions to national security the CIA makes every day. I am honored to serve in this role, representing the tremendous work of our intelligence officers. CIA Director William J. Burns. Statement by CIA Director William J. Burns on invitation to join cabinets. Okay. Blah. What's this? You may have seen spies use disguises in a movie. What about real-life CIA officers? File 12, the Langley Files, features two CIA disguises specialists who share tricks of the disguise trade and how disguises make a big difference in real-world CIA operations. So, yep. Apparently now, they're putting out what's a podcast or something. What is this? Yeah, the Langley Files, CIA's official podcast, episode 1, is now available. Listen to the CIA Director William J. Burns bring CIA out of the shadows as we celebrate their 75th year of serving the nation. Unbelievable. They have a podcast. By the way, I'm not promoting the podcast. I was just kind of shocked that they actually do have a podcast. Unbelievable. Let's get rid of that. They have a goddamn podcast. So, real quick, I want to thank. Hold on a second. I want everybody to like and subscribe and make sure I want everyone to like, subscribe, share the stream, all that good stuff. Because I appreciate all the support in advance. And, so, yeah. So let's keep, national security looks fun. It does look fun, but I'm sure it isn't, but it looks absolutely, like, fascinating. Let me lower this. Reload that. Reload it, please. Reload that. Hello. Thank you. Let's see. So let's go here. So the CIA, as far as I'm concerned, can go fuck themselves. Hope everybody's hearing the videos fine because I'm using these earpods this week because the other ones I use in my past episodes, those are terrible. I didn't like them at all. I didn't like the way I sounded in my other mics, so I decided to kind of switch it up with this. And eventually, I will be getting a mic here, so you'll be seeing a mic soon enough. I just need to buy it because I'm pretty cheap. So that's why I'm using these this week because I don't want to what's what I'm looking for. I don't want to sound like shit. Hopefully I sound better with these, but yeah. So as you can see here, we're moving on. It's bigger. So yeah, I'm moving on. I'm going to be covering Cenk Uygur's appearance on the PBD Podcast, which I talked about this podcast a couple weeks ago when I um I covered the Anthony Weiner when he appeared on this podcast. The Anthony Weiner. Let me try it again. Anthony Weiner's appearance on this podcast. So that's why this is not this is Cenk Uygur's appearance where he spends most of his time hawking his book. The book that he announced 3 years ago, by the way, if you remember, in 2020 during the pandemic. And Cenk Uygur had apparently took 3 years to write a 300-page book. I'm like, I'm sorry, if I wait, it wouldn't take me 3 years to write a 300-page book. It just wouldn't. if I took enough Adderall and actually stayed up all night, I could write this book in 3 months. And I could definitely write this book in 3 months. So it wouldn't take me 3 goddamn years to write a book, a 300-page book. That's just ridiculous. But let's do this. Let's see when it's coming out. Let's see when Cenk Uygur's book is allegedly coming out, because I don't believe it actually comes out. But justice is coming. How progressives are going to take over the country, and America's going to love it. Yeah. Well, allegedly this book comes out September 19th, 2023, and a little bit more in a month, allegedly. Again, this book's been delayed multiple times, so I don't buy for a second that this book's coming out until it actually does come out. It took him 3 years, this man 3 years to write this book. So let's see, let's do that. So this is what describes the book. The media can't stop talking about the gridlock in Washington, as if a handful of stubborn Republicans are the only thing standing between us and a fully functional democracy. Excuse me. The reality is our government was taken over by big business and their allies in both political parties. The getaway driver in this heist was corporate media. The good news is that the American people are very progressive, and soon progressives will take over Washington as well. And when they do, great majority of Americans will love it. And justice is coming. The Young Turks founder, Cenk Uygur, presents two ideas that counter everything we hear from pundits and politicians on a daily basis. One, progressives are correct on all issues. And two, America is actually a very progressive country. Millions of us that we are a part of something larger, a movement that is already transforming Washington. No, it's not. Progressives have no power in Washington. Dick. It's like the so-called progressives in Washington are nothing but sheeps for the Democratic Party. So no, progressives do not have power, and are not transforming Washington. The compulsively readable manifesto seeks to apply the momentum we already built. What momentum? You have no momentum. Progressives had no momentum in Washington. But let's keep going. To a concrete progressive agenda that activists, voters, and citizens can all rally around. It looks beyond Trump to the larger historical forces that have given us this unique political movement, and explains why we should fight, and how we should fight, and how we will win. Sharp-witted, persuasive, and inspiring, calling out toxic Republicans and politically ineffectual Democrats and mealy-mouthed media mavens in equal measure. Justice is coming will give heart to Democrats and progressives who seek to change our politics and society for the better. All right, just nonsense. That was what describes this shitty book that Cenk Uygur wrote. And let's go back to this. And let's play. It's about 8 minutes. It says, what? Cenk Uygur calls Trump a wannabe dictator who hates freedom. Screw that guy. And if any of you are voting for that guy vote for that guy who totally un-American. If any of you are voting for that guy who is totally un-American, I don't know why, they probably ate that by accident, who betrayed this country, you're nuts. He's a wannabe dictator. He hates freedom. He wanna take away everybody's freedom so that all of the power goes to him. This is what Cenk Uygur claims. So it's 8-minute clip. So let's watch some of it. And Twitter's annoying. Alright, so see, there goes Cenk Uygur's shitty book right there. He's hawking his book. That's why he came on the show. So let's check this out. And I'll stop it and give my thoughts throughout.
Look, it got personal when he lost the election in 2020 and said, screw it, I'm going to try a coup. I'm going to do these fake electors scheme. I'm going to try to rob America of its democracy just so I can stay in power. Screw that guy. And if any of you are voting for that guy who's totally un-American, who betrayed this country, You're nuts, and he won't ever leave office. He's a wannabe dictator.
He'll never leave office. He left office in 2020. This is Cenk Uygur with his Trump derangement syndrome again. I think he can't wait till Trump is president again, because that way, he's able to go right back into Trump derangement syndrome until I see nothing but Trump videos 24/7. They already do it, but it'll be worse when Trump is elected again.
He always praises dictators, whether it's Xi in China, whether it's Kim Jong-un in North Korea, Putin. He's
Ping in China. It's like, really? Like, seriously? I mean, it's like, you know who also praises dictators? The United States government. Every American president does this. Saudi Arabia. We're allies with most of the world's dictators. What are you talking about? It's like he acts like Trump is like the special evil that loves dictators. Completely ridiculous, completely absurd. But let's let him keep going.
He's always saying, oh, they get all the applause when they walk in. No one's allowed to disagree with them. And then freedom, my ass. He hates freedom. He wants to take away everyone's freedom so that all the power goes to him, okay? So, no, Pat, look, you can...
I'm not laughing at you. It's entertaining what you're saying, and
it's 100% true.
I can see... Okay, so let me ask you a different question. Who do you trust more, him or Biden?
I don't trust either one of them. It's not about trust.
Fair. Okay, so who do you see more? If your choices are the two guys right now, are you going to sit this one out?
Oh, no way. I'm going to vote Biden because I want another election. Okay. If you put Trump back in charge, there's at least a 50% chance we're...
Hold on, let me go back. This host, what's his name? Hold on a second. It's here, I assume. No, it's not. It's Patrick Bet-David. He asked Biden. He asked Cenk, who you voting for? Oh, well, I'm voting for Biden. I want another election. I want an election, motherfucker. Unbelievable. It's absolutely ridiculous from Cenk. Let's keep going.
Are the two guys right now? Are you going to sit this?
Go to this. He asked him. He asked him.
Oh, no way. I'm going to vote Biden because I want another election.
I'm voting for Biden. No doubt about it, guys. Even though I just said I don't trust Biden. I don't trust him at all, but I'm still voting for Biden because ultimately I'm just a Democrat. I'm not a progressive. I'm not going to vote for Cornel West. I'm not, even though I'm in California. I'm not going to vote for RFK Jr. I'm not going to go for Marianne Williamson. I'm definitely voting for Joe Biden if he's the nominee. I think what he's saying there, unbelievable.
If you put Trump back in charge, there's at least a 50% chance we're never going to have another election.
So let me ask you this other question. To the people who, when Hillary lost, you've seen that clip when Hillary lost. It's one of the greatest.
The Democrats deny elections all the time. They deny elections all the fucking time. It's like every time they lose, they deny the results. It happened in 2000. It happened in 2004. It happened in 2016. It's going to happen again in 2024. As soon as they lose, they will deny those election results, and they'll blame Russia again. Just like they did in 2016. Let me hold on a second here. So I want to show you guys. Where's the why is it not loading up? Here we go. Sorry about that. Bear with me 1 second. So let's do this for now. I want to show you guys how much Democrats deny elections. Because Cenk Uygur's lying there. Or he's going to lie. You know what? Let me show this for you.
Bill Burr said it best when he was on Conan O'Brien. He says, look, man, forget about the Olympics, Russia, U.S., forget about, the home run, forget about this. He says, dude, this guy beat Hillary Clinton. It's like the people lost their minds, right? What did Hillary Clinton do for 4 years? You know what she did.
Hey, Carlos, how are you? Hope you're having a good day and hope you had a good week. Let's keep going.
She went around campaigning around what? Russia, they stole the election. And we...
What do you mean before?
That's what Hillary Clinton did. Well, the Russians stole everything. They stole the election. Putin's a bad guy. Putin's evil. We have to go after Putin. Putin's a motherfucker, basically. And look at Cenk Uygur's face. And when he's telling the truth here. Go back.
On what?
Russian
They stole the
collusion.
election. They stole the election. They stole the election. And we.
Look at his face. Look at him. He's pissed. He's like, yeah. You're telling the truth, but I don't like it. I'm like, oh, you're telling the truth. I don't like it, but man, I mean, I can't shut you up because you're telling the truth. So look at his face. Yep. No, fuck. I can't counter any of this. Let me do this.
What do you mean before, Pat? Before she was doing it with all that bullshit.
No, but they didn't say that he physically stole the election. There's a giant difference. Saying, oh, boo-hoo, which she did, of like, oh, the Russians interfered in the election, which, by the way, they did.
This justification. Look at the difference.
But not enough to make the difference, okay? But that's just crying after your loss. Whereas Donald Trump, had a scheme of fake electors to do a...
Fake electors. Fuck him. I hate Donald Trump. Oops.
Goddamn coup.
So I got to follow up.
Hillary.
Goddamn coup. No evidence for any of this, but you have to say it. He tried a goddamn coup. I'm so angry.
Hillary did not do that.
Did
I can't stand Hillary.
And she did actually concede. Wait, hold on.
She conceded.
So, here's my question, Cenk. So let's say you are
She conceded, then turned right around, along with the Obama administration, denied the election results for 3 years, or actually 4 years. The entire first term of Donald Trump denied the election results. They act like, no, I actually won. I actually won. Same thing Trump did in 2020, by the way. But here's the difference. The difference is Trump is being charged, which I'll get to in a minute. Trump is being charged with it will have to do with January 6th. He has more indictments, even more indictments. And I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, forget it. It must not have been that important. Let's keep going.
Trump, you legitimately win the election. Hold on.
Don't use the word legitimate.
Time out. You won in 2016. You find out all these years later with the Durham report and all that shit that not only did Hillary help set up lawyers, the dossier, everything. How can you blame somebody for not trusting the FBI or everything in 2000?
That's a good question.
I wouldn't trust. I wouldn't.
Can I answer?
Yeah, I wouldn't trust anybody.
That's a good point. Like, why would you trust the FBI, CIA, NSA, whatever, all these agencies? Excuse me. Sorry, I have hiccups, so you're going to have to bear with me. But yeah, I mean, why would you trust these agencies? They not only did they gladly assisted Hillary Clinton in this lie, that's Russiagate nonsense. The FBI, the Durham report, over and over again, talked about how the FBI basically they took not only did they took what was Hillary Clinton's lawyer name? Sussman. They took Sussman's word for it, and they asked him clearly, "Oh, do you represent anybody?" He's like, "Oh no, I'm just an informant. I don't represent anybody," which was a lie. Clearly, he was representing Hillary Clinton that time, but I mean, he lied to the FBI. Then they took the word of what is that company? Damn, I don't remember the name right now. It's in the tip of my tongue. I don't remember right now. Damn it. You're gonna have to bear with me 1 second. It's the ones that maybe the chat can help me. The ones that examined Hillary Clinton, the DNC server. What's that company's name? Crossfire, not Crossfire. CrowdStrike. Thank you, Dingo. Ate my baby. Okay, CrowdStrike. That's what it was. Yeah, they just took CrowdStrike's word. Like, oh yeah, I mean, the Russians hacked this DNC server. They didn't examine the server. They didn't do anything. It's like, oh, okay, well, CrowdStrike said it must be true, right? So we're just going to run with it. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. The FBI clearly was involved in Russiagate. They clearly propagated the conspiracy theory. And why would you trust them? But I want to see Cenk Uygur's answer. What excuse he has. So let's watch him.
Anybody.
Okay, so look, when he asked for a recount, I said, hell yeah. When he asked for a hand recount, I said, hell yeah. Why? Progressives have been asking to verify elections.
And I love this comment. I didn't see this one. A dingo ate my baby. Says they're called alternative electors. Have been done before. Yeah, that's absolutely true. I've been thinking this throughout history. People have done this before, where they try to replace. They try to either get these electors to vote for another candidate, or just replace them. This has happened before, and in fact, I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to show this. Do you guys remember in 2016 when the Democrats got a bunch of celebrities to come around and basically say, electors, please, I beg you, vote for another candidate. Don't vote for Trump. Vote for another candidate. I beg you. Remember that? So let's do this. I want to show you this ad. I remember this ad running, and it was so ridiculous. Like, really, you want these electors to vote for Hillary Clinton for no reason? When she clearly lost. Remember this? Hillary Clinton was never charged with this, by the way. We're trying to change the results of the election, but somehow Trump is one being charged. So let's do that. Oops. Let me do that. Oops. Sorry about that. So let's watch this real quick. I want to show this video because Democrats have done the exact same thing Trump did, trying to change the electors' vote or replace the electors. But somehow the Democrats aren't guilty, but Trump is guilty somehow. So let's watch.
Republican members of the Electoral College, this message is for you. As you know, our founding fathers built the Electoral College to safeguard the American people from the dangers of a demagogue and to ensure that the presidency only goes to someone who is to an eminent degree endowed with the requisite qualifications.
An eminent degree. Someone who is highly qualified.
They're quoting the Federalist Papers, which is not in the Constitution. The Federalist Papers are nothing but they were trying to convince the states to ratify the Constitution. So just remember that. Let me keep going.
Qualified for the job.
The Electoral College was created specifically to prevent an unfit candidate from becoming president.
There are 538 members of the Electoral College. You
and just 36 other conscientious Republican electors could make a difference.
By voting your conscience on December 19th.
And thereby shaping the future of our nation.
I'm not asking you to vote for Hillary Clinton.
I'm not asking you to vote for Hillary Clinton.
I'm not asking you to vote for Hillary Clinton.
As you know, the
Constitution. Of course not. Not asking you to vote for Hillary Clinton. Then who? Who do you support? If you don't support Hillary Clinton, then who did you? What's your demand then? What's the point of this? Oh, don't vote for Trump, guys. I don't care who you vote for. Don't vote for Trump. Hey, Indy, how are you? But don't vote for Trump, though. Vote for anybody. We don't care. We vote. In fact, I should have said this. Vote for me. Make me the president of the United States. That's what you should do. And if you're suggesting don't vote for Hillary, vote for who?
The Constitution gives electors the right to vote for any eligible person.
Any eligible person, no matter which party they belong to.
But it should certainly be someone you consider especially competent.
Especially competent to serve as President of the United States of America.
By voting your conscience, you and other brave Republican electors can give the House of Representatives the option to select a qualified candidate for the presidency.
I stand with you.
But who? This is from 2016, but who? I remember thinking that too. Who do you support? Okay, fine. You want to change. You don't want Trump to be president, which he ended up being elected anyways. But let's say, okay, but who? Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama? Who? Me? I mean, who? Who's your candidate? I mean, you can't just say, oh, don't vote for Trump. As long as you vote for anybody else but Trump. That's what it's Trump derangement syndrome. This is the beginning of that. Who?
With you.
I stand with you.
I stand with you.
I stand with you in support and solidarity with conservatives, independents, and liberals.
And all citizens of the United States.
The American people trust that your voice speaks for us all.
and that you will make yourself heard through the constitutional responsibility granted to you by Alexander Hamilton himself.
What is evident is that Donald Trump lacks more than the qualifications to be president.
He lacks the necessary stability.
And clearly the respect for the Constitution of our great nation.
You have position,
The authority,
and the opportunity to go down in the books as an American hero
who changed the course of history.
And you have my respect.
You have my respect.
You have my respect.
I love the Comrade Katie, welcome and thank you for the comment. This is clown shit. If there's no electoral college, Hillary won. Would have won. Yeah, that's why I'm grateful to the electoral college. It's like, oh, thank God the electoral college. I mean, the founders were geniuses. They were fucking geniuses. I mean, without the electoral college, Hillary would be president right now. It would be in World War III in 2016, 2017, 2018. We would have been in World War III years ago. And a lot of us wouldn't be here because there'd be a nuclear holocaust by now. Because Hillary Clinton would have definitely dropped a nuclear bomb because she's a psychopath. But, yeah, again, I know this actor's name. I know this actor. He appeared in ER for years, but I forget his name right now. ER, one of my favorite shows.
My respect.
For your patriotism.
and service to the American people. Unite for America.
Unite for America. Paid and authorized by Americans to Take Action, uniteforamerica.org. Not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee. So it's a pact. Yeah, remember that? So that ad dropped in 2016. And so let's go back to Cenk Uygur. I mean, there you go. Excuse me. And yeah, I mean, so the Democrats denied election results for years, and they demanded the Electoral College not to vote for Trump, even though. But as soon as Trump says, "Oh, I didn't win. I won the election, and it was stolen from me," he's indicted on a bunch of charges for no reason. So even more indictments, even more nonsense. But let's keep going with Cenk. See what he has to say.
Just for decades now.
Let's see him hawk his book a few more times too.
Right? But when some Bernie supporters back in 2016 said, oh, no, Hillary stole the election from Bernie in the primaries, I said, look, when you're talking about how they set up the debates, how they funneled money from the donors through the state Democratic parties, that's true, okay? But if you're talking about evidence of rigged elections, you have to come with frickin' evidence. And our side didn't. So I said, no, I don't care how angry you get at me.
Bernie Sanders is like, oh, well, yeah, except for New York. Except New York. Remember when New York lost millions of votes and deregistered millions of people? They just removed millions of people from their rolls. Remember that? Remember when all the superdelegates were counted? Remember all that? But no, the election was not stolen from Bernie in 2016. And remember the lawsuit? The lawsuit that basically alleged that that Bernie Sanders, they wanted all the money back from the DNCs when the lawyer sued. Sorry. Yes, he actually did publish a book. It took 3 years for him to write 300 pages, but it's coming out September 11th. So I'll believe it when it actually comes out. But yeah, he finally came out of a book. And Dirt Nap Us. Let me see. I mean, he's been talking here, so let me see. What is he saying? Why would we be in World War III if a Democrat won? Well, Hillary Clinton would have in 2016. Let's go back. Remember when we were in Syria, and she talked about how she wanted a no-fly zone in Syria, and there are Russian planes flying over in Syria. She literally said, yeah, we would have to bomb any planes that are flying over Syria. Russian planes? Yeah, Russian planes, of course. We'd be in World War III right now. Well, you think the Russians are going to let us just bomb their planes without anything, without any retaliation? Of course there's retaliation. Naturally. And in World War III, the one country will be desperate enough to drop a nuke. And once that happens, we're all dead. Everybody's dropping their nukes. And good luck trying to survive that. So luckily she didn't win. And she didn't win in 2016. Or else we'd be dead right now. Yep. Harlow says, yep, New York tossed the ballot. Cenk Uygur acts like there's no evidence. It's like, no, you didn't prove anything, because I'm a Democrat also. So if you tell me the evidence that I don't want to hear, then I would have to not vote for Hillary Clinton. So, yeah. So that's what he says. That he continues with this claim, though. So let's keep going.
Hillary Clinton did not steal the votes.
No, she didn't steal anything, guys. Except when New York, took away a bunch of votes from their ballots, and except when the delegates were counted, the super delegates, sorry, were counted, all that stuff, and when the entire corporate media was against Bernie Sanders, you can go on and on and on. No, she didn't directly steal votes. Maybe she even did. That's the thing, people go, there's no evidence for any of this. There's no evidence. There's no evidence for any of this, except all the evidence I just cited. In the DNC lawsuit, with the Democratic Party their attorney admitted that, well, we could decide our nominee with in a back room, in a smoke-filled back room, and we don't need the voters' opinions. But there's no evidence that Hillary Clinton stole a primary from Bernie Sanders. Ridiculous.
In those elections in the primary in 2016. So when you get to Trump, if he says, hey, I want to recount, great. But they did. They recounted 3 times. They did hand recounts. Then they went to court 60 times. And guys, this is definitive. He couldn't present one piece of evidence. He had 60 shots at it. You know why he couldn't present one piece of evidence? Because there is no evidence. There is
no evidence. Remember, there's no evidence. Oops.
No evidence, and he knows it. He made it up from day one. He's a giant liar. He's always been a pathological liar, and he came in and was like, oh, I don't like losing. I don't like losing. I don't like it.
That's what Clinton did. She literally did that. It's like they made up a whole Russiagate thing because Hillary lost the election. She did that. Yeah, I mean, Trump did the same thing, but here's the difference. Here's the evidence. And I'm allowed to do this now because YouTube terms of service have changed. So great. I'm allowed to point this out. There's millions. What they did in 2020, if you guys remember, just 3 years ago, unless you guys living under a rock and didn't vote in 2020. But what they did was they sent out millions and millions and millions of ballots to everybody. Everyone got a ballot in the mail. No evidence, no nothing. No voter ID. No signatures, no nothing. It was just here's a ballot, vote for who you want, and mail it back to us. So anybody could have voted. Anybody could have voted more than once. Anybody could have sent out a bunch of ballots back, and they would have to count them because there's no evidence, there's no tracking, there's no nothing. And there were a lot of irregularities on election day in 2020. But Cenk Uygur doesn't want to talk about that because his candidate won. If a candidate would have lost, then trust me, he would have been last 3 years on a crusade talking about how Trump didn't win the election. But because Biden won, he doesn't want to talk about that. No conversation about that. What happened in 2020?
Oh, I think they stole it. They made up 7 million votes. Hugo Chavez, they blamed the Kraken, all these insane donkeys or mules or whatever the hell. Get it out of here. Hey, all of MAGA, show me one piece of evidence in court, not BS. Oh, I said it on TV, doesn't that count? No, all you ever do is lie on TV. All the politicians lie on TV. Go to court, show the evidence. Until then, shut up and stop trying to steal elections and stop hating America. America's about elections.
Stop hating America. Trump hates America. He's a motherfucker. He's a piece of shit. Fuck you. That's basically what Cenk Uygur is saying. It's like, he hates America. But Biden doesn't. But Trump somehow does. He hates America.
Elections is about democracy.
So by the way, I will say this to you if you could. I will say this to you. So you're right. When it comes down to if you think the other person is guilty, show the proof and go through it. That's the whole thing with innocent until proven guilty. Totally get it. But bro, mainstream media ran for 3.5 years that Trump, Russia, all that stuff. I'm not saying you. I'm saying mainstream media ran against.
No, it was Cenk. He's guilty of that. He's guilty of that. Just as much as mainstream media is guilty of that. He pushed the Russiagate thing for 4 years. They bought into every single Russiagate conspiracy theory, the Young Turks. He did it. Him, Anna Kasparian, all of TYT, he did it. So, to be fair, I don't know where he knows that or not. He may not be a regular TYT viewer, but I know he did it. I was watching TYT. He did everything. Cenk Uygur was just as bad as Rachel Maddow. So, no, that's not really true when he says that. Because Cenk Uygur is guilty as much as Rachel Maddow is of pushing the Russiagate conspiracy.
Against them 3.5.
Oh, by the way, I'll be right back. I have to go to the bathroom. So, give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Oh, gosh. Okay. Thank you. Be patient with me. I'll be right back. Thank you for your patience. I'm back. I nearly pissed myself, so too much information, I know, but I had to go. So let's keep going.
2.5 years every day. This guy thought Russia got him elected. I mean, people that we know, smart guys.
But brother, mainstream media hates progressives. They've destroyed our movement.
I'm not.
Am I saying, we won the election?
But I said to you, not you. I said not you. I said mainstream media.
But my point,
he did it too. I mean, he's trying to defend. He's trying not to be attacked by Cenk, but he did it too. He's guilty of it just as much as anybody else in the media is guilty of it. Guilty. He's fucking guilty. So Cenk is guilty too. Guilty. But, I don't think Patrick Bet David, whatever his name is, knows this. But let's keep going.
The point is, Pat, you got to play the playing field. That's true for me. That's true for Trump.
Hey, gamer. Good morning. I guess where you're at. It's morning. It's almost 2 o'clock here on the East Coast. But good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Let's keep going.
Sure. Right? So, yes, mainstream media hates him. Yes, they did propaganda against him for 3.5 years. But that's the playing field, right?
Totally get it. No, it's totally fine. They have the edge. Listen, Republicans, if they want to have that, go buy some media companies and compete directly.
Yeah.
Musk is buying Twitter. Great. Go at it. Play your game if you're going to do what you're going to do.
Murdoch influences elections more than anyone else.
Murdoch is right now more at a whole different place. He's not a Team Trump guy. You know that, bro. He's not. But where I was going to this, the following. Okay. So the part for me that got confusing was the following. Okay. Do you remember during COVID, I had a lady named Judy Mikovits on who used to work with Fauci in 1980s with the AIDS thing. Oh, my God. It was like, boom, 2 million views taken down. Short clip, strike. What? Okay, let's interview this other guy. Boom, strike. Okay, all right. Boom, strike. They took like 40 of our videos down during COVID. And we kept doing the interviews, and we were not like, well, this is 5G. Remember the whole 5G thing? Like, that fizzled out very quickly. Everybody thought it was a 5G. But there was a community that was like, well, this is what's going on. Here's what they're doing. This is what they're doing. Okay, cool. We're like, all right, let's kind of take a look at to see what's going on. Election claims. Yeah, this is what they did, the drop and Okay. Yeah, election fraud has been going on for a long time. Okay, this ain't anything new. It was something known for Democrats that would do a lot with John F. Kennedy, Dewey, all this stuff, and it's been going on for many, many years. Great. Okay, they're doing that. But if you put up any clips disputing it, guess what? You were getting strikes, and they were taking those videos down.
No, Cenk doesn't know that because he never got a strike on his channel. Because he wouldn't dare report on any of this other stuff, that YouTube and Google wouldn't like. So Cenk doesn't know about that. He did. I don't think TYC's ever gotten a strike on the channel, let alone. I have a community guidelines warning on my channel from back in the day of 2020. So that's bullshit. But Cenk never got a strike, never got a community guidelines warning, none of that shit. Because he's a good little boy. He does what YouTube and Google tells him to do.
Then 2-3 months ago, YouTube comes out and saying, moving forward, we're no longer taking those videos down. They can stay up, okay? Why would YouTube do that? Why would YouTube not allow it for 2.5 years and all of a sudden YouTube, can you pull up that clip on YouTube change their guidelines on election claim or whatever? Like, no, moving forward, we're not going to take it down and we're changing our guidelines.
Yeah, which is why I talked about the 2020 election, because YouTube now allowing that apparently randomly for no reason. They're allowing, oh yeah, you can now point out how 2020 election Biden may not have won the election. I'm rambling, but you get what I'm saying. Now they allow it. Before they didn't allow it. Back in when Biden first elected in the first 2 or 3 years of administration, you weren't allowed to say that. You were allowed to deny 2016 results. You can Russiagate all day long. But the 2020 results, you weren't allowed to dispute those results until now, of course.
Guidelines for it. So I'm not saying one or the other, but did YouTube behind closed doors, are they worried about a Twitter files coming out? Are they worried about, YouTube changes policy to allow false claims about...
YouTube changes policy to allow false claims about past U.S. elections. See, they assume that it's false. YouTube assumes that it's false. YouTube changes policy to allow false claims about past U.S. presidential elections. YouTube will start removing content that falsely claims that the 2020 election or other past U.S. presidential elections were marred by widespread fraud, glitches, errors, or glitches. Their platform announced on Friday, which was a couple months ago, I think. But yeah, YouTube still assumes that that it's false, but at least they're going to allow it in their infinite mercy.
About past U.S. presidential elections, YouTube will stop removing content that falsely claims the 2020 election or other past U.S. presidential elections were marred by widespread fraud, errors, or glitches. The platform announced Friday. This is what, AP News? Less than 2 months ago. It's exactly 2 months ago, is when they put it up. Why would they do that?
I have a good theory.
I'm curious. I want to hear your theory why they would do that.
Yeah, because now every Republican believes it. Like 8 out of 10 Republicans believe it. So what are they going to do, ban every Republican? So I think they...
Yes. That's what YouTube would do. They would ban everybody. That's what YouTube does. They banned a lot of conservatives off their platform already. So yeah, so that's what they would do. They change their policy because they know that Trump is very likely to win. And if that's the case next year, then it's okay to deny Trump's election results. That's why they did it, because they know Trump is very likely to win in 2024. Which is why they went right back to, okay, now it's okay to deny election results because Trump is probably elected next year. That's why I did it. I mean, it's completely ridiculous to say, well, I mean, Republicans believe it, so YouTube can't do anything about it. No, they've been banning conservatives for years on this platform. Let's see what the chat is saying. Jimmy's show was so much better yesterday. Jose Vega was on too. Yeah, I saw that. Rest in peace to Brownie Steph's and Jimmy's dog died sadly. He was really sick. Oh, the dog died? I didn't know that. Sorry to hear that. Sorry for their loss. I mean, losing a dog is probably one of the worst things that can happen to you. Excuse me. All right, let's finish this off.
I think they got to a point where they're like, we give up. Every right-winger believes this nonsense that's totally made up. So we can't ban all the right-wingers, so we just got to let them say it.
Yeah, ridiculous. I mean, I already told you guys why I think, they're doing this. Because they know that Trump is going to win the election. And since Trump is going to win the election, they have to allow election denials because it's okay, because Trump won. All right, so let's go to this clip. It's 9 minutes. It's kind of long. Cenk Uygur says Trump is corrupt and can be bought. Patrick bet David Kush's back. He had the girls, he had the fame, he had the properties, he's been to the parties, he's had the money. They can't stand the guy because they can't control him. So let's see.
Street and Vanguard.
Let's play some of this. Nothing at time.
When you look at it now, and you see the kind of money that's being spent on the left for them to push their agendas over. You set aside this lobby stuff out. You set aside corporations putting money in to who they buy. Like, the joke about Koch brothers. Well, he wakes up and says, what do I get for my birthday? Which president, right? Now it's more the left that's doing that. You got the Soroses. You got the Larry Fink and BlackRock without their ESG score and, State Street and Vanguard. And that thing's becoming a reality where it's no longer about Democrat and Republican. It's truly becoming more about the establishment folks and the anti-establishment folks.
100%.
And if we're talking anti-establishment, Cenk, you have to agree on this, bro. You have to agree on this. I know it's going to be tough for you to agree on this, but if you don't, give me everything you got, what I say right now. You can't say Trump is an establishment candidate.
No, but I can't say he's corrupt. So there's a huge difference, and I'll explain.
Okay, fair. Go for it.
Okay, so Trump is not establishment. The establishment hates him. You're totally right about that, okay? And so...
Which for guys like us, we like that, don't we?
Yeah, but then you have to see, okay, why do they hate him, right? And so, number one, he's unstable, so business interests...
Can't be controlled.
And that's also true, though.
Okay.
That's also true. Okay. Well, no, he can't be controlled because he's so unstable and unhinged.
Which is a strength, though. In a way, it is an edge you have against your enemy because if the enemy feels they can't control you, dude, we have to eliminate you if we can't control you.
Well, okay, now let's talk about that, though.
Okay.
So now why do I still say he's super corrupt? And by the way, those stats you showed are in my book, okay? And I explain why.
It's in the book. It's in the book. Buy his book for $30. Trust me, it's in the book. All those stats that they just showed, it's in the book. Pay $30 to give Cenk Uygur $30 of your money. And trust me, you can read that book, Justice is Coming, and you'll learn a lot. Even though it's the same thing he said on the Young Turks for 20 years. But, yeah, you'll learn a lot. Trust me. Just buy the book. He's hawking his book. So let's just buy the book, Pay the $30.
Once the Supreme Court, activist judges on the Supreme Court changed the rules, they basically allowed for bribery. Okay,
That's insane.
They legalized bribery.
Yeah, I just saw that. It was told in the chat that Brownie passed away. I'm sorry. I want to offer my condolences to Jimmy and Steph. That's losing a dog is. I've lost my Chihuahua too, like 3 years ago, and it's awful. It's like losing a child. Seriously, it's horrible. I'm sorry for their loss. But let's get back to this. Will Trump be Nord Streamed? Anything is possible. They really hate Trump. It's not just Cenk here, it doesn't matter. It's Washington. They can't stand this motherfucker. I wouldn't be surprised he ended up dead at some point. God forbid. I don't want to see anybody die, but I wouldn't be surprised if either they try to put him in jail. If they can't put him in jail, they'll probably try to kill Trump because they don't want Trump as president again. It's a near certainty.
I outline it perfectly clearly. And there was a guy from the Chamber of Commerce, Lewis Powell, who said we could just buy the if we get on the Supreme Court, we could buy the whole country. Corporations just can outspend everyone, right? And they did it. Nixon said, boom, you're on the Supreme Court. And they did it in Bellotti. They did it in Buckley v. Vallejo. They legalized bribery. Now, Trump had trouble getting money from normal corporate interests. And I agree, that's normally a good thing, right? So what did he do? He had to go make up the money. So he went and talked to Sheldon Adelson. So Sheldon Adelson is actually, before he passed away in 2021, largest political donor in history. He gave $100 million to Trump twice, to him and his PACs in 2016 and 2020. What did he get in return? He got corruption charges in China dismissed against him.
To be fair, he's like the Soros of the right. He was like the Soros of the right.
That's
Vegas,
fair.
casino,
Yeah,
tycoon.
sure.
Yeah, Soros gives a shit ton of money to liberals and alleged left-wingers. And so, yes, Sheldon Adelson would do that too for the right. So it's not just, he acts like it's just the right that's doing this shit. Big Mike says Harden Lens just showed a doc that Cenk made showing that she did. Doing what? I don't, unless I must have forgot, but if you expand on that comment.
Pro-Israel.
He got everything. He's the guy who got the embassy moved. He's the guy who repatriating taxes from abroad because most of his.
Yeah, Trump moved, or the Israelis Trump allowed the Israelis to move the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, our U.S. embassy, and of course Biden didn't move it back to Tel Aviv or didn't tell the Israelis to do that. So, yeah, Biden just as guilty as Trump is here, but of course Cenk ain't going to talk about that.
his money is in Macau, China, because that's where most of his casinos
Casino
are.
business,
And he
yeah.
got that tax that knocked down to 8%. So from 35% to 8%, he made billions off of Trump. And on top of getting rid of the corruption charges and the tax cuts and everything, just as a little tchotchke, Trump threw in Miriam Adelson getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
His wife.
His wife. Yeah. Are you kidding me? So Trump could easily be bought.
Dude, Obama got a Nobel Prize a month after being a president just for what he was.
I know, but that isn't about corruption. That was just them being silly, right?
Yeah, that was Obama got a Nobel Peace Prize. A month after he was elected. So, yeah, that's how seriously you can take the Nobel Peace Prize committee. Unbelievable. Carlos says a documentary that by TYT that the California Democratic primary in 2016, and it shows how it was rigged polling stations. Oh, okay. That I don't think I remember seeing that one. Maybe I do and I forgot, but maybe I saw it. But I appreciate that. I mean, yeah, TYT at the time were major Bernie Sanders supporters, and they were mad when Bernie Sanders lost. So. And now, all of a sudden, 7 years later, turn around and say, nope. He's like, no, Hillary won fair and square. She won, you know what I mean? But it's just absurd. Just absurd by Cenk.
Okay. So my point is
for
that
a DEI score.
Trump is perfectly corrupt and can be bought. It's just that who's buying him is the question.
I don't know.
So you read the portion about Adelson in my book.
Sure.
There's no question he did everything that Adelson asked him. And by the way, I say to the readers, are you sure you wouldn't if somebody funneled $100 million to you?
Jeffrey Katzenberg gave you $24 million or $20 million. He did exactly what you were told. So yeah, so I agree. You know, I mean, if you get $100 million from somebody, then you'll definitely do what you're told. And Cenk Uygur got a quarter of that, and it was exactly what he was told. You get $20 million from Katzenberg, and he did exactly what he was told. Which is why Cenk said that. Oh, if you got $100 million from somebody, you would do what you were told, right? Yeah, Katzenberg gave you 20, and you did exactly what you were told. So you got a quarter of what Trump got, and you did exactly what you were told. If not, I would have asked for $100 million. Hey, you want me to do what? You want to invest in my company? Yeah, invest $100 million. Do exactly what you tell me to do. Nope. Cenk took 20. He's cheap, and he did exactly what he was told. Pathetic. And then Harlow says it right. He's outed himself. Yes, dude. I mean, if you got $100 million, you would do what you were told, right? Oh, well, you got 20, and you did what you were told too. So yeah, you outed yourself. Cenk isn't the smartest, the brightest bulb in the pack.
And then $200 million to you,
I would.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Look, I've given up a lot of money to do the right thing in different portions of my career, but I haven't seen a lot of other people do that. So
if you got $20 million from Katzenberg, you did exactly what you were told. Oops.
My point is that money is intoxicating. It corrupts Trump. It corrupts Biden. And by the way, here, I'll go further.
No, bro.
But
I'll push back on that when you're done.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, one last thing about it. To me, though, let's look at the flip side of it. Mainstream media will tell you, oh, the Republicans, Mitch McConnell, when he takes $1 billion from corporate interests, he's obviously corrupt. And look at it, he's working for the corporations, et cetera, right? But wait a minute, Nancy Pelosi also took $1 billion. And almost all from the same donors. So why aren't you calling her corrupt? And everyone in mainstream media says, no, Nancy Pelosi's an angel, and she's a master legislator. So when Mitch McConnell takes $1 billion, he's a crook. But when Nancy Pelosi takes $1 billion, she's an angel? No, they're all crooks. That's why we have Feinstein.
Including Cenk. He took $20 million from Katzenberg and did what he was told. So it's not just the politicians, it's also Cenk. And TYT and Crystal and Kyle and all of those people. They take a lot of money. And they do what they're told, like good little boys and girls.
Drooling. I'm sorry, but it's reality. In the Senate, Mitch McConnell freezes. He's like, they're all 90 years old. Why? Because
Mitch McConnell had a stroke in front of everybody, in front of the whole country. I covered this last week. I think he had a stroke. He literally had a stroke, and There's a video that I saw after my stream, which is unfortunate because it would have proved my case even more. But he was like this. Mitch McConnell, after he had a stroke and came back, he's like this. Well, the president asked me if I was fine, and I told him I'm a sandbag. He's like this. Like, his mouth was droopy. It's like that. I'm like, he definitely had a stroke, and then he dropped some. Then he turned around and he acted like, well, I'm fine. I didn't have a stroke. You did have a stroke. What's your problem? Just admit it, You're like 80 years old.
Corporations know they get a great return on investment from those people.
No question. We're on the same page there, just so you know. But here's how I gauge who can be bribed and who can't be bribed, okay? So most of the time, like this Leon Black story. I don't know if you saw the Leon Black story with Epstein, where he paid Epstein $158 million for consulting fees and estate planning fees over a 5-year period. And
sure,
what do you mean $158 million for those fees? And then story comes out about a 16-year-old girl who was autistic, and so
Jesus,
yeah. By the way, this story came out. It's pretty wild. So you hear stories like this, and you're like, okay, he was bought. Then you watch this video and you'll see where I'm going with this. Can you pull up the video clip of Neil deGrasse Tyson? I don't know if you have it or not. I almost don't. I'll play this clip here in a minute because I don't want to confuse the two clips. I'll come back to it where, the point is being some people flip their position suddenly where you're like,
why?
You would have never said that. Why are you saying it now? What happened to you? At least with you, where you're at, some people are saying, what are you doing, bro? Why are you not making a couple adjustments, but you're like, no, this is all I'm going to talk about, and da-da-da-da-da. Great. So you're not controlled. People may not agree with you, but you don't come across as a guy that's controlled, right? They don't have 100%. To like you, but you don't come across as a guy.
Dude, he took $20 million from Katzenberg. He's controlled. He's controlled opposition. What are you talking about? I don't know why he's defending Cenk that much, but it's interesting, that this dude is defending Cenk. Like, well, it's obvious you're not controlled. No, he is controlled. He took $20 million from one of the richest men in the world. In an investment, yeah, but, still he took $20 million. It's a lot of money. I mean, if I had $20 million, I would probably do what I'm told, too, maybe. It depends on who does it and with whether, I'm in the mood or not. But, but I'm not, it's ridiculous to say that Cenk is not controlled. Excuse me.
Guy. Now, some will say, well, you took money from Soros in the past. They'll say all I'm saying to you is they'll say that's happened, all that stuff. But to me,
he didn't take money from Soros. He took money from Katzenberg. Remember, I mean, that's different Democrat billionaire.
You're unhinged. You're not controlled, and they don't like people like you. And I totally get it. You could make a couple adjustments to increase your business affairs, but that's to you. You've chosen to play the route that you're playing. When I watch a Trump, and I watch some of these guys, I'm like, okay, that guy, you can win him over. Just introduce him to a couple girls. He's good. Mm-hmm. Easiest way to win guys over, right?
Yeah.
It's typically guys that don't get a lot of play, and they're not good with words. They're not good with the ladies. Hey, go do X, Y, Z to him, and he's going to fall for it at a bar. Boom. Hey, here's the clip we got from the room with you. Guess what? Da-da-da-da-da. Can happen to anybody, by the way, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So girls is one of the ways of doing it. Attention is another way of doing it. Fame is another way of doing it. Money is another way of doing it. Guess what? Trump has had it all. He's had all the girls. One too many sometimes, okay? Some that he was single.
Well, he did cocaine off women's asses. So, yeah, Trump's had it all. I mean, he doesn't need... I'm not sure how... So he wrote that in one of his books where he would do cocaine off women's asses, which is, a dream. I never done that, but he did it, and I was like, oh my god. But let's keep going, though. I mean, TMI, shut up.
Single, some that he wasn't single. He's had all the money. He's been to all the parties. He's got all the letters from all the most powerful people in the world telling him how much they love him. Alec Baldwin, no one ever treated me like this. Oprah Winfrey, that book he wrote about all the letters that others wrote for him that now they hate him. Chuck Schumer used to love me. He used to love me when this, that, that whole talk that he gave.
And he's right about that part.
Yeah, but the point is, he's had the girls. He's had the fame. He's had the properties. He's been to the parties. He's had the money. How the hell are you going to, does he want to be, if he's worth $2.5 billion right now?
He's not.
Let's just say he's worth,
he's not. He's a total loser. He's almost bankrupt.
Well, okay. So you can say that, and that's fine. But
can't say he's a loser.
But
Total
I mean,
loser.
But if you say he's bankrupt, you can say that can be your.
Well, he's a loser. He's a loser. Remember, even though he's worth $2.5 billion, still he's a loser. Do you remember when Cenk used to do the loser Donald segments all the time back in 2016? Yeah, but he still thinks Trump is, like, who cares? Even if you think he's a loser, who cares? Like, ridiculous. Yeah, he's worth $2.5 billion, but you know. Can you give me 1 second? I'm sorry. I mean, I got a phone call and I'm gonna have to pick it up. So excuse me. Sorry about that. I mean, my girlfriend just called me all of a sudden, and I had to take it. I couldn't, or else she'll keep calling me a million times. But yeah, I mean, let me see. Let me get rid of this back in a minute. Crap. Bear with me. All right, so yeah, it was this random. I'm gonna go see her tomorrow, so that's why we were setting that up. But I was supposed to go see my aunt initially, but unfortunately, I'm not able to make it out there to Camden, so I'm gonna go out there instead tomorrow. My girlfriend, so that's why. Uh, that's why I picked up the call because she would have kept calling. So it's like, let me just pick this up in 5 minutes real quick. But I saw FBI calling Angel. It wasn't the FBI. I mean, it was the FBI, then I'd probably be on the run. I was like, oh, the FBI, yeah, I'm out of here, guys. I'm gonna delete all my social media and I'm gonna go in the woods and hide somewhere. So, good, like, I'll see you guys soon. Let me see what else was said in the chat. I think I heard Angel say sell. Let's see, Indy said something. I think. Where is it? Let's see. A gamer saw Savvy put your comment on stream last night. Oh, I didn't watch Savvy's stream last night. Which comment? That's nice, that's cool. I'm getting more. I'm getting out there, but yeah, I don't know which comment was it, tweet or a comment. What did she do last night? But yeah, Angel had to make sure Smoochie talked during his show. I'm sorry. Look, I didn't know she would call me. I mean, I was kind of like, holy shit. I looked down on my phone. I was like, holy crap. I mean, my I was like, ah, shit. She's calling me right now. I have to pick up, or else she'll keep calling me. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't just not take the call. But what is Jank doing these days? It seems that he needs meds for his bipolar, not judging bipolars. Well, I'm bipolar, so I'm on my medication every single day. But yeah, I don't know if Jank's bipolar or not. I mean, I don't want to put that on him, but he seems like it. He goes back and forth at times. So let's finish this up real quick, and then I'll move on to the other story I want to talk about.
Your opinion, but the last 60 years, or the last 50 years, proves you wrong. Okay,
it doesn't. It proves me wrong.
15 Years Apprentice was number one. How the hell are you that entertaining to be number one for 15 years, right?
Various news organization attempted to estimate as well. Forbes estimated 2.5 billion as of April 12, 2023, with Trump making much higher claims. Trump has received gifts, loans, and inheritance from his father. His primary business has been real estate ventures, including hotels, casinos, and golf courses. Sorry.
Financially, real estate properties, when you think about a real estate name brand, you think about one name. You don't think about 50 different names. You think about a guy that's been able to brand himself, you think about Trump. Now, are you going to buy Trump steak? Probably not. But you're going to buy...
Neither did anyone else.
Neither did... But the point is, he's had great victories. He's got kids that are doing well for themselves. He's got a daughter that, has
so does Biden.
Yeah. That was a different angle you took. But where I'm going with this is, that's the part where I feel they can't stand the guy because they cannot control him. So for me, when I see, what's going on with them wanting to get rid of this guy, and you're like, look, the big donors don't want to give him money. Look how much money he got. No, he can't raise any money. Nobody wants to give him any money. And look at this stuff. Yeah, but the people that are raising money are the people that are not being trusted because they're part of the establishment, left or right, a lot of people are saying. So that's why guys like RFK are getting some momentum. This is why guys like Vivek are getting some momentum. Because Vivek's got his own money. RFK's coming out doing some grassroots stuff.
All right, well, that's that. But yeah, I mean, Jake is like, oh, well, come on, guys. I mean, he's obviously, Trump is beloved by these, yeah. He hates Trump so much that he can't even stand to even give him a little bit of credit for anything. So, that's that. Trump derangement syndrome, Cenk Uygur suffered from it. So, he's like number one on that. Let's see. This is the host, Patrick Bet David. Yankees minority owner. Really? You own part of the Yankees, and they suck. I mean, I can't stand watching the Yankees this season. I mean, they're awful. They're shit. But I mean, I hope. But I digress. It's not a sports talk show, so I don't want to get into much of the Yankees because, or else I'll keep talking about it for 30 minutes. But Captain Obvious says, "How you doing? Remember, Jank is what Kyle was or is emulating." Well, yeah, I mean, Jank he's influenced a lot of commentators. From Kyle Kalinske to Jimmy Dore, even. He's influenced a lot of commentators. And good morning, Bryce. How are you? And Captain Obvious says Kyle's shtick is largely lifted from Jank. Yeah, I mean, they all do it. It's not just Kyle, but a lot of them do it. A lot of these commentators who TYT has uplifted over the years. They copied Cenk's style too. Anna Kasparian's copied his style over the years. So a lot of commentators tend to do it. All right, so let's go to the next story. Why am I not seeing what I want? Okay. Sorry, give me a minute. Oh, like really? I hate it when all these media outlets try to tell me, "Oh, don't use your ad blocker." It's like I don't want to see your fucking ads, but I turn it off temporarily just to see what I want to show. I hate all these ads. I swear to God. Yeah, let's see. Why is this not? I already showed that. So let's go to that. Oh, I forgot to show this. So this is Democrats, all the election denying Democrats have done over the last 20 years. Must watch 10 minutes of Democrats denying election results. Blah, blah, blah. Democrats denied election results in 2000, 2004, 2016. That's true. Excuse me. All right, so this is 10 minutes of election denial. So I'll play some of this and then I'll react.
You can run.
So this is all the election denial Democrats have done. I actually forgot to play this, so let me play it now.
The best campaign. You can even become the nominee. And you can have the election stolen from you.
How can you win with Russian interference, though?
That's a real
what I'm
thing.
scared about in 2020.
But rightly.
Go back for a second. 10 minutes of Democrats denying election results. Trust me, they've done a lot more than that. So let's. You know what? Let's just do that. Let's get rid of that.
How can you win with Russian interference, though?
That's a real
what I'm
thing.
scared about in 2020.
But rightly.
Because I think he's an illegitimate president that didn't really win. So how do you fight against that in 2020?
You are absolutely right.
He's an illegitimate president in my mind.
Would you be my vice presidential candidate? Folks, look, I absolutely agree.
Yeah. I didn't understand a word Joe Biden said there. It's like, yeah. This was back in 2020, 3 years ago. Now today's even worse than what he was then.
Trump didn't actually win the election in 2000.
Jimmy Carter, former president. Really? Even Jimmy Carter? I forgot Jimmy Carter did Russiagate. So, yeah, even Jimmy Carter was like, I don't think Trump won in 2016.
2016. He lost the election, and he was put in office because the Russians interfered.
Trump knows he's an illegitimate president.
The president-elect, although legally elected, is not legitimate.
I don't see this president-elect as a legitimate president.
You said you believe that Russia's interference altered the outcome of the election.
I do. We have a president who, if in fact it is proven, has been assisted by the Russians and may in fact not be a legitimate president.
The one thing that Trump...
Carter's still in hospice? Wasn't like 3 months ago? I thought he would die sooner than that. I mean, I know he's like 100 years old, but I thought did he go into hospice care like 3 months ago or something? I thought it wouldn't take him this long to die, but apparently so. Now let's keep going with, Hillary Clinton. Fuck.
is fearful of when it comes to his being president is that finally we will see how illegitimate his victory actually was.
I have an objection.
I object to the...
They all denying the election results, but somehow Trump does it. He gets charged with like 1 million crimes. But as soon as like Democrats do it, it's like, oh, it's perfectly acceptable. I mean, they get to deny election results.
15 votes from the state of North Carolina. I object because people are horrified.
He's an illegitimate president.
Do you believe Trump is a legitimate president?
What I believe is that there's no question that the outcome of this election was affected by the Russian interference.
There absolutely is a cloud of illegitimacy.
So that legitimacy is in question, yes.
So that was a very tainted election, and in that sense, it's illegitimate.
Why do you think the president is going to such great lengths to essentially prove that he beat you?
Because he knows he didn't.
Because you're denying the election results. That's why. That's why he's going through all that effort to prove that, yes, I beat Hillary Clinton.
He knows he's an illegitimate president.
Stolen emails, stolen drone, stolen election. Welcome to the world of unprecedented Trump.
So do you believe President Trump is an illegitimate president?
Based on what I just said, which I can't retract.
The Russian attempt to have the election.
Even Jimmy Carter was like, yeah, I kind of just said that. I can't deny it, but it does sound ridiculous. I can infer to what Carter just said there.
And frankly, the FBI is weighing in on the election. I think makes his election illegitimate.
There was a widespread understanding that this election was not on the level. We still don't know what really happened, Isaac. I mean, there's just a lot that I think will be revealed, history will discover, but you don't win by 3 million votes and have all this other shenanigan stuff going on and not come away with an idea like, whoa, something's not right here.
The outcome of the election was affected by their interference, and now we need to know, to what degree, if any, the Trump campaign was actually in collusion with with Russia.
He knows he's an illegitimate president. So of course
You get the point. It's just 10 minutes. I really don't want to keep playing this off for 10 minutes, but you get the point. Democrats get denied the election results, and Republicans, as soon as Trump does, he gets charged with like he gets indicted on 1 million different crimes. But Democrats, okay, you can deny the election all you want. Don't worry about it. Trump got elected in 2016. You can make up a whole conspiracy theory called Russiagate. You get to do that. But Trump denies election results. Oh, charge him with everything you can think of. Indict him for everything. 1 million indictments. That's fine. Whatever. I mean, he doesn't get to deny election results. So, that's what I'm not gonna. This is 10 minutes, and I'm already getting kind of bored. So I'm not gonna keep playing. Maybe I'll play it again next week or the week after or whatever. But I'm gonna keep that there. So let's see. Let's keep going. Trying to find the load. Alright, so let's go to the next story. See whether this loads. Oh, of course. I gotta get rid of my black horse. I can't read what I want to read. Excuse me. Alright, I'm trying to find a certain video which I want to play, and I don't know why I can't find it. Alright. My audio is hard to hear. Can anybody else have that issue? Because I haven't gotten that complaint yet. So if that's the case, then I'll try to, because it's all the way up. Can anybody else hear me? Because I'm getting chat saying that somebody has a hard time hearing me, so. Excuse me. Let's go back. Let's go back here. Okay, because I'm getting people in chat saying they can't hear me, so I'm gonna tell that person just to make it turn up your volume or something, because it's really not on my side. Alright, so let's get to this. Oh, well, of course. Oh, please support our journalism by allowing ads. What journalism? You see this? What fucking journalism did NBC News do? Look at that. Like, it says, oh, wait, you can't really see it here, but hold on. Let me just do this. There. Look at that. Welcome to NBC News. Please support our journalism by allowing ads. Yeah, why don't you go fuck yourselves? How about that? Alright, so let's do that. I'm gonna have to look somewhere else. Vince McMahon's opinions. Okay, let's click on that. And I'm gonna. Oh, this sounds. Well, Vince McMahon's subpoena and sexual misconduct investigation. As I'm sure if you guys are, as you guys may have seen on Twitter, I saw it last night or yesterday that McMahon was subpoenaed in the investigation by the federal government in their investigation on the $3 million that he allegedly paid to a mistress from company funds. So he's under investigation. His house was raided last night or yesterday at some point. Well, no, it was 2 weeks ago, but it came out yesterday. That's what it was. I'm sorry, I screwed that up. But yeah, he was raided and then he was subpoenaed to testify. So let's see. Federal law enforcement agents executed a search warrant and subpoenaed World Wrestling Entertainment executive chairman Vince McMahon last month. It happened as part of his investigation into claims of sexual misconduct. The company announced this week. U.S. regulators and federal agents also demanded WWE hand over certain documents. McMahon has not been charged with a crime. WWE and McMahon did not immediately respond to the request for comment. And no thank you. I'm sure that. McMahon was forced to retire as CEO in July 2022, but remained the company's majority shareholder. Following his departure, WWE disclosed multiple expenses that McMahon hadn't reported, totaling $19.6 million. That forced the company to revise its financial statements for 2019, 2020, 2021. Let's see. Many of the payments were related to company investigation of his alleged sexual misconduct, and the company board last year formed a special committee to investigate. The Wall Street Journal, in July 2022. Wall Street Journal, July 2022, reported McMahon paid tens of millions of dollars to 4 women to cover up allegations of sexual misconduct and infidelity. McMahon has denied the allegations. McMahon in January returned to the company as board member after a 6-month hiatus. Upon his return, he agreed to reimburse the company for his expenses related to the investigation. So far, he's repaid WWE $17.4 million, the company reported Wednesday. In April, the company announced it's merging with Endeavor Group, the parent company of competitor UFC, to form a new publicly traded company. McMahon will retain his current WWE title of executive chairman of the new company. And is there anything else here? Nope. So that's that. Vince McMahon has been raided and now subpoenaed, so there's going to be a lot more investigation now. Please support our journalism by allowing corporate capitalist propaganda to be inflicted on me. Yeah, that's what NBC wanted me to do. They want me to support, their journalism, quote unquote. Their journalism, yeah, like they have journalism. Their journalism. So I'm almost sure McMahon's going to beat this. I mean, why in the world would anybody think that he isn't going to beat this when he already beat it once before? He already got charged with allegedly distributing steroids back 20 years ago. I was a kid when that trial happened, and he was found not guilty. So what makes you think that he's going to, the federal government's going to get this guy now when he's worth tens of billions of dollars? It's just ridiculous. Oh yeah, disabled my ad blocker, whatever. So it's been 40 years of McMahon's alleged crimes, and he's never been convicted once of anything. Let's see. Why is this good? Yeah. Look, you're on Twitch. That's why you're by yourself there. There's other people on YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that. So that's who I'm talking to. Yeah, so yeah, he'll get away with this. I mean, there's no way. I don't see there being any way that McMahon is not going to get away with those crime, with whatever crime he may or allegedly committed when it came down to giving money to his mistresses or whatever. And I have time to do other stories. I have time to do other stories, so let me just do them. Oops. Shoot. Bear with me 1 second here because I already covered everything I wanted to cover, and it's like 2:40, so I figure I have time to do other things, to cover other stories, so I'll do that now. Where's the bookmark? Oh. Hope everyone's enjoyed the show so far. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you share the stream, and subscribe to my channel. Greatly appreciate all that in advance. Whoops. Let's just get rid of. No. Thank you. And I would love to tell the bot dude to select live chat option to see all the chat, but they can't see what I'm typing. I think he's on Twitch, and I already told him that he's on Twitch. That's why he's by himself. But nonetheless, I mean, he can hear me. I hope. So let's see. Oh, you guys see? I assume everybody's seen this, but let me do this. I assume everybody can see this. I've seen this before, where like local media reports the pretty much the exact same thing. So I'm assuming everybody has seen this, but
This is extreme.
have you seen? I'm sure everybody's seen this video. They're saying pretty much the exact same thing. No matter either ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS, they're saying the exact same thing.
Exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 Exactly what people.
But yeah, I mean, this is local press around the country saying the exact same thing. It's like they all get a script from God knows who. I don't know who the fuck will give out these scripts, but maybe they're bosses, but they all get the exact same script and said the exact same thing. There's no deviation. The cadence is all exactly the same. It's like, Pravda, the Soviet Union, wish they can control the media the way that the U.S. can. It's unbelievable. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's extremely dangerous to our democracy. Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. It's extremely dangerous. Alright, so excuse me. Oh, so I'm sure you guys know that Trump was indicted again on more charges. On more charges when it comes to January 6th. Oops. Looking for. Okay, where is it? I thought I saved it. Oh, this is interesting. This timeline is actually incredible. I mean, come on. Hunter admits laptop on March 17th. March 18th, Trump indictment news. June 8th, FBI doc alleges Biden bribe. June 9th, Trump indicted. July 26th, Hunter plea deal collapses. July 27th, Trump indicted. July 31st, Devin Archer testifies, who was, I think it was Hunter Biden's business partner, if I remember correctly. August 1st, Trump indicted. Oh, it's no coincidence. Biden scandal distractions. March 16th, oversight reveals Biden family payments. March 17th, Hunter admits laptop is his. Let's go to March 18th on the other side. Trump says Manhattan DA will indict him. April 4th, Manhattan DA indictment. June 8th, FBI doc alleges Biden Hunter each bribed $5 million. June 9th, classified doc indictment. July 26th, Hunter's sweetheart deal collapses. July 27th, additional classified doc charges. July 31st, Devin Archer testifies. August 1st, Trump January 6th indictment. One time that happens is a coincidence. 3 or 4 times that happens is not a coincidence. They do it on purpose. They're trying to distract. 100% sure. They're definitely trying to distract. The hell? Why am I getting another phone call? Give me 1 second. I'm getting another phone call, so excuse me. What? No, I don't want that service. No, I don't know why I don't want that goddamn service. No, no, no. Is this a machine? Hold on a second. Is this a machine? This machine? Fuck you. Sorry about that. We need intermission music. That's something that I need to talk to Indie about, see whether he would hook me up with that, or some kind of intermission video, so I don't have to. That's something I don't have to just sit here in an empty chair while I go away. All right, so sorry about that. Let's continue. I still have time to. What's this? Trump must stand Trump must stand trial for his betrayal of the country. Oh, great. Let's see how I betrayed America. First of all, there's no clear evidence, but okay, I'm open-minded. Oh, this is a Joe Biden thing, I guess. I'm sorry, I thought it was like a Trump thing. Your discretion is advised. What are we seeing here?
And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out the press conference. I said, no, I'm not going to, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, what, 6 hours? I looked, I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid.
Value rule of law in our Constitution. MAGA extremists. Yep. Well, Biden should be investigated. Will he be? Nope. Because Trump departs New Jersey for his arraignment. Excuse me.
The certification. The other dimension.
I live like an hour away from Bedminster. But
mention here, which is going to be odd for the court, is that Democratic members.
I could hold on. I could share the link. So give me a minute. Oh, here it is. Let me put it in the chat. Gosh. So I shared it in the chat. So that's the link to the video that's here right now. So let's watch this. Trump departs New Jersey for his arraignment.
Seeking
another arraignment for what? January 6th, even though those charges are bullshit. But let's.
He was right in opposing the election, seeking to block the certification. The other dimension here, which is going to be odd for the court, is that Democratic members also oppose certification of Republican presidents, including Donald Trump. Indeed, during
they did. Democrats, yeah, they oppose certification of the election. Why isn't the Democrats charged? It just makes no sense. But of course, it's always got to be. As soon as Trump did it, all these charges. Yeah, this is an indictment on anything. Oh, he had his ham sandwich improperly. Indict him on that. That's illegal.
During Donald Trump's inauguration, there were riots to go along with claims that he was illegitimate. So the question is where you draw the line. And the concern that many of us have with this indictment is that there's no limiting principle being offered by the Department of Justice of where it will end this role of criminalizing false statements in elections.
Jonathan, at some point we expect the Trump team to argue for postponing this case until after the 2024 election. Obviously, he wants to spend the early months of next year bouncing from early primary state to early primary state. What about that argument, and when do you expect that to play out?
Well, Jack Smith is asking for a speedy trial in both cases. That's usually something that the defense wants. It is a constitutional.
Yeah. Jack Smith is asking for a speedy trial because he wants to convict Trump as soon as possible so he doesn't run. That's why. It's like, really? I mean, Jack Smith wants a speedy trial. I'm sure he does. Trust me, I'm sure he does.
Right that belongs to the defendant. In almost all criminal cases, defendants waive the speedy trial requirement because they need time to prepare. it's going to be very challenging to get this done by the election. You have a May date in Florida. They just filed a superseding indictment in that case. And the Trump team can come back and say, look, you can't file essentially a superseding or new indictment with a new party, new counts, and then stick with the original date. So even that date might not be met before the election. There is one interesting thing here, however. As defense counsel, I'd be tempted to give Smith part of what he's asking for. He wants to move quickly in the D.C. case, and I would give it to him because I think this case has some very controversial and troubling elements up front. I would want, if I were the Trump team, to move this case faster than the other cases, to get it to the Supreme Court, to get an answer on when you can effectively criminalize disinformation, because this does look like.
Okay. Well, Trump is mean and reigned again on more bullshit charges, but I don't care about that. Alright, but yeah, let's see. Do we have time? We have another 15 minutes. I guess I could do other things here. No, I'm not going to do that this week. I really don't want to even see Kyle Kulinski's face. I mean, I'm sick and tired of even talking about it every week. So, I didn't think that I'd be done so quickly, but let me see. There's got to be something else I can talk about. All right, Kill. I'll see you around. Thanks for joining me, though. Thanks for joining us tonight. So today. So I'll see you around. I'm probably wrap up in like 10 or 15 minutes, anyways. So. Oh, let me just. It's a long thread, but basically these 8 women said Joe Biden sexually harassed or assaulted them. Lucy Flores, Dr. DJ Hill, Caitlin Caruso, Ali Cole, Sophie Karasek, Val Conard-Youngs, Emma Murray, and Tara Reid. These are women that we know about, at least. Do you believe them or the man who lied about how many degrees he has in his class standing, his long history of plagiarism, marching with the civil rights movement, being arrested fighting apartheid in South Africa, invading Iraq knowing that there were no WMDs, trying to cut Medicare and Social Security, how wife and kids died, drunk driver in Iraq, the Obama administration putting kids in cages? Well, I wouldn't believe Joe Biden even if his tongue getting notarized. What is that? No. I still kept that? What is that? There's a video that I saved from a while ago and I can't find it. No. Yeah, there's a video. Hold on, here it is. I think this is it. Yeah, this is the one. Oh, come on. Seriously, after I found the video I'm looking for, this shit does that? God damn it. Ridiculous. Like, it doesn't want me to play this video. Like somehow it knows what video I'm looking for. Oh, here it is. Let's see whether it fucks up on me again. No, it looks good. This is Joe Biden, election hit classic 88 when he first ran.
He used phrases. Democratic presidential candidate Joseph Biden today faces a controversy. 3 weeks ago at a debate at the Iowa State Fair, he used phrases identical to those delivered by British Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock.
Biden seemed to be claiming Kinnock's vision and life as his own.
Why is it that my wife is sitting out there in the audience, is the first in her family to ever go to college?
Why is Gladys the first woman in her family in 1,000 generations to be able to get to university?
My ancestors who worked in the coal mines in northeast Pennsylvania don't come up after 12 hours and play football.
8 hours underground and then come up and play football.
It's because they didn't have a platform upon which to stand.
There was no platform upon which they could stand.
The notion that every thought or notion or idea you'd have to go back and find and attribute to someone, I think is, quite frankly, ludicrous.
The problem here is that Senator Biden told his audience he'd just been thinking about these things, and he failed to give any credit at all to his famous British speechwriter.
You know, I was thinking on the way over here. Now, that's a little too much, because, as you point out, what's behind the words? What's there? And a lot of people, the rap on Biden has always been that it's just a surface.
I should have said, to paraphrase Neil Kinnock, it's the only time I didn't, and all the times I've ever used it.
But CBS News found a tape of a second instance.
It reappeared in the New York Times with a new charge, that Biden had appropriated a famous litany from the late Robert Kennedy about what the gross national product cannot measure.
It cannot measure.
He ripped off an RFK Senior's thing, too. Why doesn't Junior point this out when he's running against Biden and is like, oh yeah, he ripped off my father's speech from like 1960s and didn't bother giving credit? Unbelievable. He ripped off the Robert Kennedy thing too.
Measure the health of our children.
The health of our children.
The quality of our education.
The quality of their education.
The joy of their play.
Or the joy of their play.
Biden gave Kennedy no credit. He has also quoted or paraphrased John Kennedy, Hubert Humphrey, and British Labour Party leaders.
He ripped off RFK. It's like the exact same speech. It's like, we got to watch our. It's exactly the same. There was no credit. It's like RFK once said this. No, he just said it like acting like he said it. Like no. It was a Kennedy speech you ripped off. The media busted him on it. It's back in '88, but still, I mean, today's media would never do this.
Leader Neil Kinnock, all without credit.
Joseph Biden admitted today that he committed plagiarism when he was in law school. He said it was a mistake, but that it was unintentional.
He quoted five.
Oh yeah, I mean he plagiarized something in law school, but huge mistake. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Imagine if I was in college. Imagine if I plagiarized somebody, I'd be kicked out of school instantly. But Biden was like, oh no, I'm so sorry, man, I didn't mean to do it. Very simple, I can now get away with it, right?
5 pages of someone else's work without proper citation.
I've done some dumb things, and I'll do dumb things again.
He was given an F.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Get a load of that. This is past Joe Biden. Get a load of what. I love this.
He quoted 5 pages of someone else's work without proper citation.
I've done some dumb things.
Yes, you have. Plenty of dumb.
And I'll do dumb things again.
Yes, you will. It's 100% true. It's 100% true. He's done dumb things in the past, which is true. And then he said, I will continue to do dumb things. So, yep, you will. Trust me. You don't know. Back in 1988, you don't know how stupid you're going to look as president. But
he was given an F.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I've been dumb.
To the political community in Washington, it all seems of a piece. Plagiarism at law school, plagiarism on the stump.
The great communicator. Strike that. The great imitator.
You don't steal verbatim. Or when you do, as he did 99% of the time, you give credit.
Biden's critics say he sells himself as a man whose words and visions can inspire a new generation in politics. But if the thoughts, phrases, and visions really belong to others, It's a form of false advertising.
Is it a wise idea, though, to take something that personal, anyway, from another politician and try and appropriate it to your own campaign?
I think it was a stupid thing to appropriate material that was really very personal, that was someone else's.
Most people didn't know who he was, you know, Joe Biden, and now they're going to say, oh yeah, he's the guy who plagiarized. That's
a lot of people.
Politically, that's devastating.
These clips are devastating. He looks like a Joe Biden wind-up doll with somebody else's words coming out.
If they're going to do things that are stupid as well as immoral, then they're probably too dumb to have the job of president.
Voters are going to have to decide whether he was dishonest or dumb.
Senator Joseph Biden may have more explaining to do.
The new questions stem from taped remarks of Biden during an April campaign appearance in New Hampshire.
I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my class to have a full academic scholarship. Went back to law school and, in fact, ended up in the top half of my class. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated.
No, you didn't. All those are lies.
Graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school and 165 credits, only needed 123 credits.
Biden now concedes he did not graduate in the top half of his law school class, that he does not have 3 degrees from college, and that he was not named outstanding political science student in college.
Newsweek says Biden actually went to school on...
All lies. Yeah, he lied about his degrees. He lied about his the fact that he was in the top 100 of his class. He wasn't, and he's lied about everything. You know, I can't. I go back. I gotta go back.
In New Hampshire.
Immoral.
Joseph Biden.
The new campaign of Biden during an April campaign appearance in New Hampshire.
I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my class to have a full academic scholarship. Went back to law school and, in fact, ended up in the top half of my class. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school and 165 credits, only needed 123 credits.
Biden now concedes he did not graduate in the top half of his law school class, that he does not have 3 degrees from college, and that he was not named outstanding political science student in college.
Newsweek says Biden actually went to school on a half scholarship.
This man's president of the United States 40 years later, basically, becomes president. How? Why wasn't this called out in 2020? And now again in 24, why is people not pointing this out, that he's a liar? And he's a blatant liar, too. Ridiculous.
Ended up near the bottom of his class and won only 1 degree, not 3.
Joe Biden ranked 76th in a class of 85 at the University of Syracuse Law School. I mean, this guy comes...
He ranked 76th of a class of 85. So only 11 people were dumber than Joe Biden. Holy shit.
off this whole thing as a flyweight.
Now Biden says Newsweek is right. His memory had failed him.
And I'd be delighted to sit down and...
Hey guys, I'm sorry. Even back in 1988, his memory failed him. Not even nearly 40 years ago, his memory failed him. Yeah, I mean, it turns out that, yeah, I'm kind of stupid, and I'm sorry. You know,
compare my IQ to yours if you'd like, Frank.
Joe Biden was victimized by the truth.
Bye-bye, Biden. He may not know.
Joe Biden was victimized by the truth. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yes, but I think this is going to be very difficult for him to recover.
Is Joe Biden dead meat, yes or no?
I think so.
Bob?
It's in terminal condition.
Terminal? Eleanor?
Yes, unless he comes in third in Iowa.
Morton?
Dying.
I say dead. We'll be right back.
God, where's this media? The media was brutal back in those days when I was a kid. Like, where is his media? Oh yeah, they've been pacified and they all love Joe Biden. Did Joe Biden spend any time in Little St. James Island? Wouldn't be surprised. Well, I mean, I'm going to end it right here. If I keep going, I'm just going to go up to 4 o'clock, and I have other things to do today. But I want to thank everybody very much for joining me. Make sure you give me a like. Make sure you follow me on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now. Make ssure at AngelJRivera08 if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe to both channels, INN and this one, and my own channel. Make sure you give me a like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. And I want to thank everyone for watching in advance. I'll see you guys next week. Next Friday. Yeah, I'll be back on Friday next week. So I'll see you guys next Friday. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream and the show. and the stream and the show. Yeah, that makes no sense. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you very much for the chatting and for the watching and all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys next Friday. Have a nice weekend.